Yeah.
You piece of shit. Anyway,
whatever.
Fusion, welcome to the show. So you went out to the media tour and actually got hands-on with Stormblood, and a lot of really interesting revelations about Stormblood coming out of a lot of these interviews. And I think that there's a variety of, there's some positives, and I think, seeing people's hands-on experiences with the way that the battle system is changing has made me a little bit more encouraged about Stormblood, but at the same time, there are some other things about the development that are really, really making me hesitate and really making me wonder what's going on. So, Fusion, we appreciate having you here to kind of shed some light and share your experience of going out to the media tour. So, how was it, man? Like, first of all, like, did you enjoy going out and did Square Enix treat you well?
Well, yeah, I mean, they always treat me well whenever we go out to something like this. San Francisco is always a little dumpy, in my opinion, but I think even Foxconn said something, along those lines where they went to I think it was Hamburg for the EU media tour, and he had a tweet or something that's like, I feel like I can walk around all right over here or something. Like,
wow, that's not subtle shade. That's wow.
Well, any big downtown areas you get into,
Yeah,
that's just how things are here.
Aren't they from like Tokyo, the most downtown of downtown areas?
Yeah, it's like downtown. That's
but there's so many. Like
downtown.
Tokyo is so big, and there's so many different districts that every part of Tokyo is completely different. I don't know if you can really compare them, honestly. Like to America's big cities, and you just think of like low income children's schools failing and sad people. Like I don't think it's the same as.
You're not Nika Kyanian, voice of the future.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, really glad that those are the things that you're instilling in children.
No, that's unfortunately
I'm kidding.
In the forefront of big cities in our country.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Anyway, so getting hands on for Stormblood, you got to check out a lot of different stuff. You've got a hands-on article posted up over at Gamerescape. So if anyone wants to check that out, make sure you go check out Gamerescape.com. But let's talk about some of your experiences getting hands-on with Stormblood. What were you most impressed by?
I think what I really liked is I liked some of the aesthetics of some of the new areas. Kugane, especially. I mean, once we sat down at our stations, I mean, we were right in Kugane.
I don't mean to interrupt you, Fusion, but it's pronounced Kugan.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know.
Kugan.
I'm curious about the setup of all. Usually when we sit down at your station, did everyone get their own station? Did you?
So basically, yeah. So I mean, we were there for a good chunk of the day. So you walk in and it's basically groups of 4, and you can kind of see this in some of the pictures that have gone out. Basically, they had 4 stations. So each station had 4 PCs. So it was basically a light party.
Right. Okay.
One of these stations was used for our dungeon hands-on that we had, and then for the rest of them, we were just kind of at our computer for most of the day, just kind of doing whatever we wanted to within the limitations of the media tour.
So how long did you actually have sitting on your station hands-on
Oh, geez. It was probably 5 hours.
Oh, wow.
Did you feel like that was enough time to really get in depth? Or there's still a lot that you wanted?
It's never enough time. It's never enough time. I mean, and this is the biggest issue with any of this stuff. And anybody that's ever gone to a PAX or a fan fest knows as soon as you sit down, you have to try and configure your hotbar and you got to put all your stuff. And it was the point where for me, a lot of people, we have our dungeon video and some other videos. Everyone's like, oh my God, they're clicking abilities. And I'm like, well, yeah, because I didn't want to sit there for half the time configuring all my damn hotbars.
Clicker.
I'll configure all the hotbars for all the jobs, and then I'll have 5 minutes left to play.
Oh, you're not lying there.
So, but yeah, I mean, you go in and you have your stations, and you're just kind of there, and that way you can, we had some external capture stuff where you could set that up and stuff like that. So,
all right. So your initial thoughts of Kugan then, because in the past, Yoship has painted some really, I think painted this in a really, really big light. I think one of the things that I'm most looking forward to is he once mentioned that there are going to be multiple ways to traverse through Kugan.
Yeah. And that's not something that I played around. They talked about how you can jump around and jump up on stuff a lot. Yeah, and that's not something that I did personally, but if you go back and look the Tour of the East video they put out, there's that nighttime shot where the samurai's kind of walking and there's like the rope lanterns. If you look closely, there's actually a ninja running across that rope.
You're telling us you just walked down the middle of the street like some sucker?
I mean, yeah. I mean, didn't you see the video? That's pretty much what I did. I just kind of walked around and took some video and.
Man.
And like, if you were to compare it to like our past zones that we've been through, like Ishgard or Idleshire, like where does it rank among those? Like, is it different? Does it feel kind of like a natural extension of those, or is it very different?
It's.
Or like compared to like Ishgard.
I think it's noticeably different. I mean, obviously, like it's one zone versus two zones, and so the size, it's not like if you think of a city, right? It's two zones, so it's like a 2. This is more of like a 1.5, 1.75. So it's not as big as it would be if it was two separate zones, right? But it's still a bigger single like city-state zone. But I think that the thing that really stood out to me was just like the color and stuff like that. I mean, you go to Ishgard and it's all like gray and kind of boring
because the people are sad there,
right?
Are the people not sad
here? They build
here?
all the buildings with their tears as cement.
No, yeah.
You can hire really, hot looking chicks to step on your face. Why would people be sad in Kugane?
I don't even know that you have to hire her. I think if you just say something like pro-resistance, she'll probably do that for free.
I think you just walk up to the Garlean consulate and you just say, "I would like to be stepped on."
And they accommodate you.
They just wave you in. Like, let them through.
So outside of Kugane, I think you got to witness two other zones, the Peaks and the Ruby Sea, right?
Yeah, so the Peaks is in Garabania, which is this zone is actually connected to Ralgru's Reach, which we didn't have access to, but on the map you can see like where the zone in is to Ralgru's Reach, and that was cool. The downside of the Peaks was we had mounts, but we didn't have flying access, and so it's like, yeah, that's great, but I don't want to like walk around all day over here, trying to find
they
stuff.
Probably didn't want you to go looking for stuff yet.
Yeah,
this is true. Yeah, they said try and keep your exploration limited in the Peaks, but a lot of other people have some footage. We have some screenshots and stuff. So we spent a little bit of time in the Peaks, not a lot. We spent more time in the Ruby Sea, obviously, because that's where we could do diving and swimming. So we spent a lot more time out there, I think, than any of the other areas. So that was fun.
The Ruby Sea, the zone that has that like weird, just giant.
That is
structure?
the Jenga Tower.
Yeah.
The Jenga Tower. I never was able to see the top of that Jenga Tower.
Really?
And you actually, and the ceiling, because we had access to flying in Ruby Sea, and you get like a little bit up, but then you hit a ceiling and it's like you still look up and you can't see the top of the damn tower.
And it still goes. Wow.
It's crazy.
That's interesting.
It's pretty crazy.
That is really interesting. I mean, a lot of people have been discussing what that could possibly be, what kind of structure that could be.
Because it doesn't look big. It doesn't look big enough to like go inside of it, right? It's just like a little tiny.
I mean, it's a decent size, but I mean, when you think about
like it's not any kind of a new deep dungeon, maybe.
I think it's possible. I mean, when you think of the way that just like cities and stuff, like versus like what you see on the map versus like the actual scale, like in that zone, it's never equal. So it's maybe, I wouldn't completely rule it out.
Plus magic, Nika. Magic.
Plus magic.
Maybe we get shrunken down and we get put inside there. Then it's huge.
Maybe.
There you go.
But then it would be even bigger and take even longer to climb. 10,000 floors, every floor the same.
So yeah, you can see the video of the different area tours over at gamerescape.com. We'll share some of them on screen now. You can see the first one kind of moving through the Kugane area and showing off some different character models here.
There's even record the video. I'm curious. Like
we had some software recording, but then we also last month we invested in a Evermedia Gamer Portable 2, and so we actually, I don't know if you guys saw it, we actually have some Final Fantasy 12 HD gameplay as well. And nice. So it's just we don't need a PC. It's not like a normal kind of stream box where it's like you got to run 1,000 different things through it. You just go and hook it through, and you're good to
Like
go.
I would have
So-
been there like recording it on my camera. Like
So has it got like a throughput, and you just can record onto
Yeah,
like
it's a throughput and then just USB power. You can just plug that
Dude.
right into the front of like whatever, any USB source, and you're good to go.
you just toss a card right in there, and
It just right onto a micro SD.
You know what?
dude, that's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
At first glance, what I really like about Kugan here, as opposed to, let's say, like Ishgard. Ishgard felt kind of like just like hallways, you know, like you have your walking space and then the buildings are just the walls and you can't go anywhere. But
I mean, the
like,
pillars was pretty open though.
yeah, pillars was okay, but like looking at this and being able to like how high up it goes and how far you can see, like this actually I think for once
Feels like a
actually
town.
really feels like a city.
like
yeah.
people live there.
Yeah, it is very well designed. Even though I've been very vocal about the fact that I'm not really into the whole Japanese culture stylings.
The aesthetic, yeah.
The aesthetic is not mine. I will absolutely say that this does look very well designed. The dynamic lighting that they have going on there is really interesting. It looks huge, like it looks massive, and on the scale that a city really should be. So I'm very impressed with what we're seeing here. And
Yeah,
then
I mean, for the Far Eastern aesthetic, it's not for everybody, but like as
Right.
far as like what they were going for, they absolutely nailed it. Like it looks beautiful.
yeah. Very impressive. Again, if you want to check out all of these videos, we're not going to play the entirety of the video. There's videos and screenshots over at gamerescape.com. And let's talk about this dungeon that you guys got to check out. The Shisui of the Violent Tide.
Violet.
Violet, whatever.
They're
Okay.
The color,
purple.
not the
She's sweet, and I'm trying to wonder like
Shisui.
if that would be like
Oh, they're gonna weave
four
on us.
waters or something.
They're
'Cause
weaving on us.
She
Yeah.
means four and sweet is water. I don't know.
That could be.
I'm just trying to make sense.
Nobody cares about that.
I mean, along those lines, one of the weapons that dropped in the dungeon was I think it was like a katana of like the ruby tides. So presumably there are slightly different colored tides or something like that. So
Did they look cool? Like, are they glamour? Are they glamour worthy?
I mean, the katana we saw was pretty cool.
Oh,
I
katana.
I right clicked, previewed it. Yeah.
Never mind. I'm thinking like ninja katanas. Never mind.
No. The GKs.
Ah, yeah, not daggers.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Well, tell us about the dungeon. What was it like?
It was really cool. It's actually, if you guys remember the Stormblood trailer that we had from Frankfurt, where it showed that kind of like that little underwater palace.
The Aether's butthole.
That's this dungeon.
Yeah, we did actually. We got some look at that from the leaked video of the DAT explorers from
Yeah, the guy who hacked the
Benchmark. That's
thing.
it.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So some of those we got a really good idea of some of the zones, and we had said, yeah, this looks like a lead up to some kind of a dungeon, and there we go. We get the circle arena there as as you guys are walking up
Boss room.
to the structure. Yeah, this boss looks really interesting too.
Oh,
Yeah, the scorpion. You have to like cripple its leg, and then he'll like fall over.
there you go.
and So,
Critical damage.
That's kind of. Have we had a mechanic like that in 14 before, where you knock a mob over?
I don't think so.
no. I think it's very rare that in dungeons we actually have to change our target, and when we do, it's either because it's an ad or B, it's something like, oh, this dragon's going to start raining hell upon us, so let's kill the wings really quick, then just go back to attacking it.
Yeah, hit the gate or something like that.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z it.
Yeah. I mean, there's like doing a certain amount of damage before a move goes off,
Yep.
right? Like there's
It's basically that's what it is.
Yeah,
except
that's
it's a
essentially
separate
what it
target.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as we see you guys fight further on into the structure, you actually do end up going inside the structure. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And again, all of this incredibly Eastern inspired. I mean, and here you come to the final confrontation in the boss. I think this is the final one. The boss. What is this? What are you fighting?
That's the second from the last.
Oh, it's the
boss, I
second
think.
from the last. Sorry.
But it's basically like a reskinned Sophia, right? But,
okay. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember because this underwater palace. I mean, we knew as soon as the Stormblood trailer came out, people were like, "Oh, this is probably this based on this legend and stuff." And I can't remember all the details of it, but there was something about like youth and some kind of like a princess or something like that. And
Yeah,
actually
because it looked like you got turned into an old woman there.
I did, which is really funny because I won't name names, but the character I was on for this dungeon was modeled after somebody that worked at SE, and they were like, "Oh, it'll be cool. Like I'll see all the press coverage, and they'll be like, oh, that's my character. Well, if it's in the dungeon, it's gonna keep getting turned into an old lady." So I thought that was kind of funny. Then you saw there too, after that boss, there's like a little ledge you can kind of jump off, and it goes into like this little pool of water.
Into the pool.
That you kind of swim through to get nice little touch here.
Little environmental stuff like that. Now we're here on the final boss.
This looks like an Escalia wet dream.
It looks like a modified Nika character model.
Oh yeah, from Void Arc.
Yeah, exactly.
Except this one has like a somewhat feminine looking face.
Right. It's Ephemeral.
Yeah.
It's Ephemeral. Is basically okay. That's cool. I can dig another Ephemeral final boss. They're definitely
ugly.
Yeah.
They're wonderful to kill. I'll tell you that much.
Anyway, so yeah.